Hey, friends, welcome to another episode of Space for Life. This will be one of the first episodes coming in 2024, and this is an episode I have been really excited about doing for a long time now, kind of for personal reasons. For those who have listened to this podcast for a while, I've been on kind of a now probably about a 3 year health journey. And it's been an amazing journey that I feel like has not just transformed my health, but transformed my spiritual life, my mental, emotional life in ways that I never expected on this journey. And so my good friends Jim and Nicole Holland are the guests today. And what I'm so excited about is they've been on this journey now also for a long time and have been the owners and founders of Hope 30 and Hope Essentials, which really brings this health and wellness journey right to people's front steps. And so I'm so excited to kind of share my enthusiasm about this and their enthusiasm, which you'll catch very easily on this journey. And so I think this is going to be an amazing episode that goes so far beyond just weight loss and health in general to our wellness. So, welcome, Jim and Nicole. I'm so excited to finally get to have this conversation.
Well, thank you, Tommy. Thank you for having us. We're so excited to be here.
We are very excited. This has been a long time coming, and we're so glad you asked, and we're so glad we all finally made space for the time to be able to make this happen.
That's right.
Yeah.
The making space isn't easy still.
No.
That's why
you have to practice.
I hear there's a podcast about it, and we should all listen to it more.
That's right. Well, you guys probably have a lot to think about with the making space, because one of the things that's real evident is you guys take on a lot. You know, the Hope 30 and Hope Essentials is only a piece of what you guys are involved in. And so I really want to let you share some of your story. But before that I kind of want to read what was inspirational to me from your website about your mission. So there were two things that really caught my eye. I guess it's kind of a byline where science and hope meet. And I think, wow, you couldn't think of two words that most people would almost say are oxymorons. And yet that's what you've done with this, which I think is so incredibly cool. And then I actually want to read the mission, and then I'm going to shut up for a while, because the mission is also just so inspirational, actually. So on your website, right at the front, you have your mission, and it says, "It is the mission of the team at Hope Essentials to provide hope for all things previously believed to be impossible. In every aspect of our lives, our interactions with each and every person we encounter during the day, with every patient that we see in our offices, with every customer that we meet online, we strive to be the bright light in their world. We believe that you can truly be your very best today. We believe that you should never quit. And most importantly, we believe that God wants the very, very best for you. And the day that you believe that, it will change your life forever. Have an awesome, awesome day." That is a fantastic, just an amazing mission statement. And I think it probably gives people just a sense right off the bat that this is not your ordinary wellness company. So
well, thank you for reading
Yeah,
that. We haven't read that. We have never had anybody read it to us before.
It is absolutely great, and it just says so much. So just tell everybody a little bit of the story of you guys personally, and then kind of how all of that's come about. And I don't even know how many years it's been, but I know it's been, a good handful with Hope 30. So go for it.
I would say that mission statement, that idea of providing people hope, I think is a big deal, because I think Nicole and I both at some point in our lives have probably been at that place in our health where we didn't necessarily feel like we had a lot of hope.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's really where it all starts. So a little backstory on me. I was born. I had severe bilateral club feet as a child. I had lots of surgeries and casts and braces and wheelchairs and all the things as a kid. And, and that's sort of what motivated me to go into healthcare. And so I went to chiropractic school. I graduated. I started in business, and just with this heart that we both had to just serve people, love people, take care of people. And in that mission of doing that, you find there's a lot of stress and there's a lot of late nights, and as sometimes when you're serving other people, you forget to take care of the person who's doing the serving. And so what you do is you eat junk, you eat late, you eat fast, you do all these things. And for me, it all came to a head. My parents have this beautiful lake house. We go there on the weekends. We had I think Hunter was maybe 2 or 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom always would wake up and make this lovely, Sunday morning breakfast. We would eat that, and then we would drive home. And about halfway home that day, I literally I had almost like narcolepsy, literally just almost passing out while I was driving. And we were literally running off the road, and I popped back open and corrected the car, got everything back. And it was in that instant I realized I was 60 plus pounds overweight. I had chronic reflux. I didn't feel well. And here I am. I killed my entire family that day. It was really close. And on that way home, I was like, that's it. We're not going home. Take me. I want to go to the pharmacy. I bought a blood sugar monitor, and I started checking my blood sugar. And then I ordered a bunch of blood work for myself. And what I ended up finding out was I wasn't having low blood sugar. I had high blood sugar. I was actually a type 2 diabetic.
Right.
And so I was 60 plus pounds overweight. I was a type 2 diabetic and didn't know it. And I had all this joint pain from the club feet and inflammation and chronic heartburn. And when I almost killed my family.
Right.
And when that realization hit me, I was like, that's enough. And that's when I went on sort of a journey of I sought out all of the top doctors in natural health care, and I learned functional medicine, functional blood chemistry, everything about nutrients and eating style and weight loss and blood sugar and diabetes and thyroid. And I just dove into it all. And because I was at a place where I needed help.
Mm-hmm.
And once I learned all those things and applied them in my own life, and I saw a dramatic transformation, the truth is that, we started doing this together because Nicole was like, I'll do whatever you do, I'll do it with you.
Right.
And we started seeing such a dramatic transformation in myself. I couldn't keep it away from my patients in my chiropractic office. They were like, what are you doing? I want to do it next week. I'm like, well, and then finally after 2 weeks, I said, okay, we'll do it. And then that's really how sort of weight loss and those sort of things started happening in our office.
That was around 10, 12, 13 years ago.
Wow.
We started a similar journey that we now offer online back then. And so should I jump into?
Yeah.
So take to 3.5 years ago. So Hope 30, named Hope 30, turns 3.5 in a month. And so
that's great.
Yeah. So where we all found ourselves 3.5 years ago was sitting on the couch and binging Netflix and
in the middle of the
pandemic in a very, very scary spot. And what we found out as entrepreneurs, Jim's owned the practice. We've had the practice for 25 years. My background is radio and television. The fact that I'm sitting here on a team in healthcare, I've always been behind the scenes at the office, but it isn't my background. But anyway, so the pandemic hit and Jim went from seeing 65 people in his office every day to 6, maybe if we were lucky. And we found out that everything can be taken away in an instant and very unexpected. And so we were all sitting around, we're all at home, and people wanted to lose that COVID-19 from the sourdough bread and all the things that they were making. And, we were having some treats too. And we thought, what can we do? Because nobody wanted to come into the office. And so I say, as I tell you this story, that the Lord is really driving the bus, because there are so many things that we've done over the 25 years in an entrepreneurial spirit that was like a hard closed door, like just couldn't get off the ground. There's nothing you could do to make it work. Well, we sat down one night and we said, okay, how can we get this service to the people? How can we help these people who are sitting on the couch, depressed, eating, locked in, no hope, nothing, by themselves? And this thing called Zoom was, coming out of nowhere, and all the kids were doing it. And so we thought, you know what? Let's do it. Let's try it. I said, yes, I'll help you. Let's go live 30 nights, every night, and let's teach them, all our people. Let's teach them every night, 15 minutes. We can answer questions. We're all together. Well, Jim had built a following on YouTube and Facebook from some other, health related categories that he had done. So we had people sign up for the first round from California and all across the country, about 25, 30 people. And so we went live every single night for 30 nights. And what was really fun is that all the things that we weren't able to tell people that came in our office only once a week to weigh in, we could tell them every night. So we're like, okay, on day 3, we're going to say this. And on day 5, we're going to do this. And we're going to tell them what's going on with their body and, keep them going and be their accountability coach. And at the same time, we were all becoming like family through this experience together, where we were still kind of on lockdown socially. So it was amazing experience. Well, we really thought, that August that was it. We did a round, the world was opening up again, and Jim's office was kind of coming back to speed. And we thought, okay, it's over. At that time, it was called Dr. Jim's Metabolic Transformation Program. And
that's catchy.
Yeah,
exactly.
Really
Exactly.
great. That was really going to do well. And then suddenly, like, our friends wanted to do it, and their friends want to do it. And they're like, well, wait, when's the next round? Because my mother in Florida wants to do it. And you're like, oh, wait, okay, I guess we're doing it again. So we did it again. And then we did it. The next round was going to be over Thanksgiving. And people were like, we'd still like to do it. We're like, okay, we'll help you enjoy Thanksgiving. And we're going to help you enjoy going out to dinner with friends. And you can do this. And so it became like the cheerleader and the science and all of that. And then in January of 2021, we had a round. Actually, a friend of ours, a neighbor, said, listen, you guys have to name this thing, because now I want to tell people about it and I don't know what to call it. And we're like, I don't know, it's something Dr. Jim does. And we're like, okay. So we turned off the camera that night and we sat down with our son and we said, and we do have a motto in our family, is #neverquit. And it's something that Jim says every single time at the end of every single Zoom. He'll tell you a little bit later about what he did. And we looked around and we said, what are we going to name this? And we all agreed, it was like not even took more than 2 minutes, that hope had to be part of it, because all these people, we had come out of a time when there was no hope. And we have so many people that have tried so many programs, so many things with no guidance, no help, no friends, all alone as an island, that Hope 30, it sounded like some other things. We actually go to a church named Hope, as you know. And so we're like, well, I hope they're okay with it. But, it's really our word. If you look around our house, we've always had the word hope to get us through some troubled times. And so it was a no-brainer for us. So the birth of Hope 30, as we know it now, the name was in February of 21. And it's just been, like I said, the Lord has driven this bus, because it's just grown. We've never done an ounce of advertising. It's all been people all over. We're really big in Kentucky.
Lexington.
We have a lot of people.
We are hot in Lexington, Kentucky.
They like us there.
Yeah.
But it's been an amazing blessing, a godsend, something we never could have seen that day when the world shut down, that this would be our life now. Never would I ever think that I'd be sitting here with you today talking about this. And, we just had our very first Zoom for January 2023, and we have over 130 people in the round, and it's very exciting.
January 24.
24. Oh my gosh. I haven't written any checks yet, so I don't need to avoid them. Thank you,
So,
Tommy. You're
well,
right. Oh.
well, it is amazing, and there's just so many things that connect with this. One, if you think about the daunting health journey that so many people are on, the fact that you do this 30-day program and you have 30 nights where people get together, it's like the ability to go into a doctor for 30 days straight and get education and support and cheerleading. Of course, now with others, so now you're bringing community
Yes.
into it.
Yes.
And I think what is so, well, it's so true to me is that it's not just about getting our health straight, it gets our hope straight. And
Yes.
that's so critical and perhaps unexpected. And, we've talked a little bit about it together, but my journey was just on my own. I
Yeah.
just I was figuring it out. I was doing what you were doing, Jim. I was searching every website. I was finding the good podcast with the people who are teaching really the sound nutrition stuff, and
Yes.
I was figuring it out on my own. How much easier it would have been for me had I been kind of aware, and I kind of came at what y'all were doing on the side. But it's hope, it's community, it's it's just our physical health, which is so critical. It's all of those things, and you provide it in one great package together. And
Well, one of the things that we talk about is that we talk about a huge part of Hope 30 is sort of this, you got the guide and the tribe. And what by having the guide and the tribe
I
is
love that.
you have us as your guide who've not only done it like themselves personally,
That's important to us that they know that.
that like
Yes.
I've not like I'm always concerned when people are like, well, I started following this new person and they're 25 years old and they've never had a weight problem in their whole life and they're telling 50-year-old people how to lose weight. I'm like, but they haven't experienced what we've experienced at this point.
Right.
And
Right.
so having a guide who's already done what you're trying to do, I think is really important. The second part is having a guide who has helped 3 or 4,000 people do what you're trying to do.
Right.
That's also kind of important. And then really the next thing is that the guide can really help you like navigate all the different pieces. And sometimes when you're like, oh, I don't like that, but the guide might have enough experience to be like, well, but if you just go through that little bit of ick,
Yeah.
on the other side of that is the promised land. So just go a little bit further. And then the tribe, I think, I mean, the most important thing when we were coming through COVID is we all just lacked human interaction, contact. And I think by taking it away, it really solidified how important I think it is to not just relationships and your fun, but literally your overall health is, I mean, if you look at all the studies on longevity, they all point out that community and interaction as you get older are one of the most important indicators of long-term, of living a long time. And
Sure.
so we
Loneliness is as detrimental as smoking is.
Yes.
correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
And
true.
so the idea is coming out of that pandemic, we just wanted so badly for there to be a community aspect to it. So the 30 nightly Zooms, the Hope 30 has a private Facebook group where they all sort of share and do all during the day. And then every night, we call it kind of like the science and the cheerleader, sort of the hope and the science. That's kind of, like how we look at it. We sort of like there's the head and the heart. Like there's a lot of different ways to think about it, but that's how we try to do Hope 30. And the reason why Hope 30 is really awesome is really probably because of all the people who've done it.
Right.
Because they
they're cheerleaders to everybody else. But you brought up something that's really important, is that in the world we live in today, and it's a blessing and a curse, but there is so much information out there. There are so many different programs. There are so many different theories and philosophies, and nobody really puts it all together and says, well, here's how you do it. And you're like, okay, I'm going to do this. And this is an app and I'm going to do it. And you peter out, right? Or I've got a friend who did this and they read this book. It used to be books. Now it's, different things, but and so the one thing that we found, and what was the mission, and what Jim, and everyone says this about him, but he will take all those topics, and the people who are very successful online are the people that can take those science topics and break it down, make a visual. I'm a visual learner, so I always say, okay, show them a picture, like what are the cells doing, and we can reach people in different places. We have people that take copious notes and they treat it like a class, and then we have people, but in the end, what they say is, no one ever told me that about my body, or they didn't even know where to look for help, or they had tried literally everything and and nothing had worked for them, and they felt like failures. And so for us, I think Hope 30 has a little bit of a lot of different things, along with Jim explaining your body and why it's doing what it's doing, how to eat the food, real food. There's nothing, there's no stimulants, there's no shots, there's no nothing. This is Jim teaching them how to eat for health, real food. And so all this is the fun part. It's a party every night. People ask, how do you do that? And we love it. I mean, and we cry at the end of every 30 days. We don't think we're going to, but we miss them, know? And so anyway, that's
well, the beauty is what you've done is you've taken a word that I hear used a lot in Christian circles. That's the word accountability, which has a heavy negative connotation. And you flipped it on its head to be this thing that people, revel in and enjoy and benefit from. And yet it is accountability, but it's the accountability of the tribe that you talk about that makes the whole thing actually fun, which this journey for those who have failed, as you say, so many times is so difficult, so filled with shame, so filled with so many negative things, to come along and have people lift you up together and encourage you day in and day out for 30 days in something that is then sustainable after that.
Right.
It's incredible.
Well, you brought out the shame of the word, and we're very, very careful. And I don't even like that I use the word fail, because I'm always telling them, but I used it, but they think they failed. And so we always talk about that in life after Hope 30 and perfect days, and just being your very best right this minute. And if you can't, if you have, and we don't call them cheats, we call them treat. They'll say, oh, Nicole, I cheated this week. No, you didn't. You had a treat and you enjoyed it. It's okay. We'll just get right back on track, because that's life. We also say that life happens. We congratulate them for choosing themselves for 30 days. They are giving this gift of committing to transforming their life to themselves and those that love them. That's something we say over and over, because, everyone that loves you wants you to be healthy and live longer. You're doing this for yourself, but you're doing it for everyone in your family that doesn't want to say goodbye early. And so we try to keep immediately the self-talk from the beginning, that we're not thinking about what you haven't accomplished thus far. And that if you have a little treat at a party, we tell them when we go to, a party, or you can do this anywhere, because they're treats, not cheats. Cheat is negative. There's guilt associated with food that way. And we're here. We came out of the pandemic where we were not enjoying life together. We didn't get to go to lunch together or coffee, and so it's very, very important for us that self-talk begins from day one, that no matter what happens, we believe in you, and every day can be a day one. Every minute can be a fresh start. So that's important to us. So,
well, it casts the whole thing in such a positive light, and I just think makes the journey so doable. And I have known so many people that have gone through Hope 30, And I can't think of a single person that I've ever known that's gone through it that hasn't had a significant transformation
Oh,
in
good.
terms of who they are. And that's really amazing. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, we always say that Hope 30 is really a health transformation program disguised as a weight loss
Yes.
program.
I
So
couldn't agree more.
that ultimately, it the weight gain and being overweight and a lot of those things are really just symptoms that your health is out of balance. And when we really correct your health, then your body will tend towards its natural ideal weight. And so the cool thing is even with all that said, we all do like to see the scale move when we want it to. And so like the average Hope 30 participant, and we've now had, well over 1,000 of them. Every group we do the stats of the reported numbers. And I would say that like the average weight loss over that 30 days is typically 14.9 pounds. But even better than just the weight loss number that we see are I have less joint pain. I have less inflammation. I
Mm-hmm.
sleep better. I have
Mm-hmm.
less brain fog. I have more energy. I have less reflux. Like that's the real health transformation. And then to see the weight go down as well is great because let's face it, we all like to
Mm-hmm.
feel better about ourselves and
Mm-hmm.
how we look. And I think when those things all happen, then I think you're more truly living out who God really put you here to be. Like
Sure.
you're getting to live your truest, the most connected self you are to God because you're now living in your healthier version of you, which is ultimately, in my opinion, what God designed you to be, is the
Mm-hmm.
healthy version of you.
Right. Well, and one of the things I certainly found is that, in going through that journey, as I began to see these changes happen, as I began to have some success in a different way. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I've tried everything under the sun before, and
Mm-hmm.
I was just a very skilled yo-yo.
Yes.
And so as I began to see things change, I also saw my belief kind of system change because all of a sudden I realized, well, if I can do this,
Yes.
well, that other thing that I never thought I could do that too. And so it
Yes.
really opened up the word that you have in your mission statement, possibility.
I was just gonna say. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because all of a sudden you realize, wow, I didn't think I could do this. And now I know
Mm-hmm.
there's so much more possible, way outside of just whether I can lose weight or not.
Yes.
Kind of
It's true.
program, my marriage, my business, my
Yes.
faith, all of these different areas, possibility opens wide open.
Well, and because so many people, are given a diagnosis without hope. And that's one thing that we talk about. Like, I'm sorry, there's nothing you can do about it. And we believe that God made an amazing body that can do amazing things. And so that's one of the things that we talk about. And like what you're saying is this is a kickstart. The 30 days, we hope and pray that at the end, and that people believe that now they truly can do anything and that their body can do anything. They didn't think that they could even lose 5 pounds, and let alone see how they feel in just learning and just losing 10 or 15, or we get a lot of 20s, how different that makes when they didn't even think that that was possible 30 days ago. And it's fat, it's not just water, and it's with real food. And
Right.
and so we look at it as a kickstart. And that's exactly what you're saying, is that if you can do this, you can do anything. And we all got off the couch and we started living again. And that's what we hope, is that people who have tried everything, they've been searching, and everywhere they went didn't give them a message of hope, that we truly believe. I mean, we've had a lot of struggles. We had fertility issues. I gained a lot of weight through all of that. I'm a short person, so that shows up very quickly. There's a lot of side effects with those hormones and things. And so, our son is a miracle and a blessing. So, where we've come from, we've had to keep ourselves going, and our health, now that we do have our miracle, we want to live a long time, and we want to take care of this life that the Lord has given us. and this blessing. And so Hope 30, I mean, it's for us too, like
Yeah.
every single, right now, it's our accountability and it's good for us. And it gave us hope first. And when that happened, then same as you. I mean,
Yeah. Well,
it really did.
I want to go kind of
Yes.
beyond that, but one of the things I do want to note, because I've really paid attention to what y'all are doing. And honestly, I have a 40 some year history of just totally battling the weight and trying everything under the sun. And what I have noticed about other things that I've tried is that many of them are very effective in helping you lose weight, but they're not healthy and they're not sustainable. And so, therefore, I would lose my 20 pounds or whatever. And the minute I kind of got to my weight, first of all, it wasn't enjoyable the way I was doing
Right.
it. So I
Right.
couldn't wait to get off of it. And I had no way of maintaining it. And what I love is just knowing kind of what you guys really are at the core is that this is simply actually about being healthy. And as you say, the weight loss is just a byproduct of what
Yes.
happens when you live in a healthy way. And that is a game changer in terms of how to go about all this.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, when you eat real food, healthy food, when you eat meats and vegetables and fruits and healthy fats, like these are all like just normal food.
Just food.
And you'd cut out like, I used to a long time, kind of in my long-term journeys, I've formulated and put a lot of things together over the years, but I used to work with a doc that wrote a book called Body by God. And one of the things that he talks about when you're eating is you're thinking about you want to eat more foods by God and less foods by man, right? And if you were to really just spend a lot of time focusing on eating foods by God and less foods by man, you'd probably be really well. The real sneaky part is you have to be careful of the foods that you think are from God, but are really by man. Like
Yeah,
it's kind of like the difference between eating an apple and drinking apple juice, right? Like
exactly.
they took a food by God and made it a food by man, and that's where it gets sneaky. But really, if by eating just real healthy foods and making sure that your body's getting all the nutrients, helping fix your broken metabolism, these are all things we do in Hope 30. They're all things for me. I tell everybody metabolic health is health.
Right.
Yes.
Like literally at a cellular level, making sure all of your metabolism works properly is not just for weight loss. It's literally the foundational element for all things health. And
Well,
so that's what we
exactly.
work on.
And as I know you guys know, but it leans into cognitive, it leans into everything. Here they're calling now Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes. You know,
We talk about it.
yeah, I'm
Right.
sure. So
Yeah.
it feeds into every area of life, and I think that's what's incredibly cool about it. So I'd like to maybe just pivot for a minute
Yes.
and talk about. I know you both of you are people of real deep faith, and that underlies all of why this is Hope 30.
Yes.
And it was interesting, my journey kind of getting into this really hit at, for me, age 62. And I'd gone through years and years and years of having a weight goal every year and failing every year at it, even not liking that word, but
Well, yes.
I just didn't get there. And I finally got to age 62 and I went, okay, if I don't deal with this now, I don't know that I will ever deal with it. If I fail one more time. And so I
Yeah.
really committed myself to it. But one of the nuances that I had to address for myself was this tension between the vanity of losing weight and the need for this to happen for health reasons. And so I found myself torn because I knew that, well, there was a lot of vanity in this. And what was interesting is that faith kind of provided the way out of it. So my goal for the year that led into this whole health journey was to clean up the temple and keep it clean. Because in the Bible, it talks about our body is the temple of the Holy
Yes.
Spirit. And so I had to acknowledge that while I might have mixed motives, I was treating God's temple
Yeah.
terribly. And it was
Yeah.
time to clean up the temple. And so
Yes.
it was great for me to finally be able to integrate this need for health with my need spiritually also.
Yes.
So how do those things play together for you guys?
Well, I would say this first off is I think, like, first of all, if anybody's ever looking for an indication of God, like your body is like, if you just take just a little bit of time and really understand even the small amount that we know of how your body works, how you aren't in awe of your creator is it would become very difficult, because I just think the body's the most amazing creation ever. And when you think about it in that way, I think it honors God. And really, the next part is God doesn't make junk.
Right.
So you were not created, you were not made, you're not here to be broken, to be sick, to be, to feel bad. Like that was not in your creative blueprint. Like, God made you awesome, and built right inside of every single one of you is a ridiculous and amazing ability for your body to heal itself. God put that's all built right inside of you, part of the creation that God made you. And so when I think of that, and I know we all have that inherent ability to heal ourselves built inside of us, that gets me excited. And my truest belief is that we're all here for a purpose. Like, we weren't just like, hey, let's just, there's just another person. No, I think we are all born unique. We all have unique gifts and talents, and all of those unique gifts and talents are designed to fulfill some purpose on earth for God. And what I find is there's a whole lot of people that feel that calling, feel that pull to fulfill God's purpose in their life, and the vehicle that they're going to be able to fulfill that purpose has got, bald tires, is out of alignment. It's got,
Tired.
the engine's all clogged up, and got a bunch of dents in it. And this is the vehicle they're going to try to drive their mission through life. And I just believe that it was a huge part of the mission of what we want to do, which is really, I think that we all are unique, and we all have a mission, that, a God-given mission, and we're all, and only you are uniquely designed to fulfill your mission.
Right.
And so the world needs you. God needs you to fulfill your purpose here. And if you are low energy and tired and sick and overweight, and you have all these things and depressed, and you have all these things on you, you can't possibly fulfill your mission. So we really just want to help reconnect people to their mission. Like, let's clean up the temple. I love that.
Yes.
Let's take care of our health, because when you do that, like, I think all those disease states, those chronic pains, they change your psychology.
Right.
Like, they work on trying to disconnect you from God.
Yeah.
Like, they become a barrier from you expressing your God-given potential. And so if you're getting your health under control, for me, is, yes, certainly there can be a vanity issue to it. I get
100%.
Everybody likes to look better, but
nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. But yeah.
But at the same time, with all of that said, like, understanding that your body broken down is more separated from your mission and from God than when you are at your best, when you are expressing yourself the way really God intended you to
But
be.
I think a lot of people don't believe that their body can heal itself. We
You're
say
right.
something like that and they're like, what? That's rude. What are you talking about? And so, I thought that in the beginning when Jim entered into, even being a chiropractor. And there were aha moments along the way that, I believe the Lord sent us in our relationship to show me that that your body can heal itself. And one of them was from a speaker when Jim was in school, and this really changed my life forever. But just on a very normal level, that if you were to cut your finger or get a little paper cut on your finger, your own fingerprint, your individual fingerprint, without you might clean it a little bit or do something like that, but your body knits itself together. You don't need to do anything at all, and you will regrow your fingerprint 100% individual to you, and you did nothing. It's like a superhero. We actually do a night your body is a superhero, but really it's a message of God's amazing healing power. And we say that God doesn't just choose your finger. If he can do it to your finger, he can do it down to the teeny tiny cells, but you have to give your body the foods and all the fuel that he tells us to eat in the Bible, and we've ignored it. And, he's given us everything we need on this planet to heal our finger, but it takes things to heal the finger.
Well,
So
I
that's
think
been
you're,
a big thing for us.
yeah, and I think you're so right. I think that so many people don't believe that they can get better. And uh, I think the barrier, I think the simple answer to that is, well, maybe you can't heal everything,
Right.
but you can be better. And
Yes.
that better is worth being.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
just so take the steps. Why not take the chance? Why
Don't
not?
give up on yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's really great. So health is a big topic because I know that it's not just about nutrition. It's not just about medicines. It's,
Mhm.
there's sleep, there's
Mhm.
the strength piece of it. All of it is critical in terms of being healthy. There's the spiritual piece of it. There's the
Mhm. Right.
emotional piece of it. So coming from all of the angle and having, helped thousands of people, what's a couple of the really big,
Mhm.
clear, easiest takeaways for those who say, well, okay, I don't know whether I'm in for this Hope 30 or not, but what could I do right now
Mhm.
to move in the right direction?
Well,
Great question.
that is a great question. This is how I would start with that foundational belief that your body has a ridiculous and amazing ability to heal itself built right inside of you. And if we can start as at our foundation, then you start to question, well, how would I ever get sick? Right?
Right.
If my body can heal itself, why would I ever develop? And it used to be 150 years ago, 80+% of deaths were based on like infections.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's only 8%, which means that 92% of all the deaths in America are based on like chronic health issues, which are primarily preventable with what we're talking about. And so that's why that's so important. So we're talking about things like, so the two reasons why people would typically develop any type of disease or illness is, number one, by act or omission, you're causing damage faster than your body can heal itself.
Mhm.
Or number two, your body doesn't have all the nutrients it needs to do the healing. And so so that's where I start. So number one, we have to not cause damage faster than our body can heal itself, right? So that means if we eat more food by God and less food by man, a simple way to do it is, if you think more meats, high quality proteins and vegetables, some fruits, healthy fats, then that's going to really help you on the eating side. Drink more clean water, like,
Yeah.
just like, don't, if you smoke, quit smoking. You don't overconsume alcohol. Like,
Mhm.
as you look at those things, don't cause damage faster than your body can heal itself, and you're going to do pretty well. The second part is, you got to have all the nutrients that your body needs to do that healing. That is the reason, ultimately, I mean, this very concept, we started an entire business based on this exact concept, which is our supplement brand, Hope Essentials. And so this is just a simple thing. We believe you got to have all the nutrients. So if you're just looking for a blanket simple thing, get a high quality multivitamin and take vitamin D. That would be my most basic. But if you are looking for like more like, how do I really know what I should be taking?
Right.
We actually have something. We use it as part of Hope 30, but it's completely free to go take. It's called the Hope 30, spell out the word 30 test.com. And it is a 114 question, like advanced metabolic questionnaire. And at the end of it, you'll get a report, and it kind of gives you a metabolic score. It tells you where your problem areas are, and it recommends very specific supplements to help fill in those nutritional needs. I think that there's probably it's the easiest way to be the most concise, because what I see when people are out taking supplements, you go into anyone's house, they got 15 or 16 different things. They're like, oh, I saw this on TV and I saw this in this magazine, and none of it works together.
Right.
And so what we try to do, the test helps you go like, what's the least amount of things that I can do that have the most synergy to cover everything? Because if we have all of our nutrients, if we don't cause damage faster than our body can heal itself, and we have all the things our body needs to do that healing, then we can truly be healthy. And then my third one would be move your body. And that can come in a lot of different forms. Start with walking and, advance from there. And I cannot overestimate how important sleep is. Sleep is one of the greatest regenerative moments of time for your brain. Like, all of your brain healing happens while you're asleep. That's when it takes all the garbage out. Almost all of your fat burning happens while you're asleep.
I'm not kidding. I lost more weight when I started actually going to bed. What do you say, before midnight?
Yeah, every hour of sleep before midnight is equal to like 2 hours of sleep after midnight, as far as sort of your circadian rhythm.
Wow, that's interesting. Huh.
So if you get a little more sleep before midnight, so making sure you're sleeping that. And so a lot of people will say, well, why do you spend so much time talking about just the eating and less time about the exercise? Well, there's plenty of people out there talking about exercise, and certainly moving your body in all the different ways is really important. But if I'm looking, I know a lot of people that exercise all the time and they don't eat well, and it's killing their health. And so I think a big lever you can pull first is getting your eating style right, getting all of your vitamins and nutrients in, then move your body and get good sleep. And if you do that, and of course, everything spiritual we've talked about, relationships,
The
church. Yeah, I have a dog
Sure.
in here who's spazzing out.
Well, so much of it also has to do with where you're beginning. So you don't find too many people who are really in a healthy place, in terms of their body and their weight and their metabolism, that don't happen to move.
Right. Exactly. And that really, Jim's coming back. Sorry, Tommy.
That's all right.
This is real life. And this is actually where we have the Hope 30 every night. So the dogs do this. The cats come across the screen. This is real life, but yes, it's true. And so we bring it back and help them transition into moving their body after the 30 days. But there are people that work out like crazy, and poor things, it's not helping. It's actually hindering. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there is so much more. I love the deep dives into all things. I've kind of geeked out a lot on the
Good.
supplements and the different things, and totally behind you on metabolic health is health. When
Yes.
it comes down to it, but that has to be brought into language that a lot of us often don't understand. So
Sure.
there's so much about it. So I know there'd be a lot of people who would like to kind of explore kind of what you're talking about with Hope 30 and with Hope Essentials. What can you suggest as ways for people to dip their toes into both kind of what you're teaching about, but also about Hope 30 and Hope Essentials?
Yeah. So if you you can just go to our website, and it's hope, spell out the word 30.com. I have a video on there where I explain kind of all about the program,
Great.
like what we do in it. There's if you go there, you may see a bunch of your friends, because there's a bunch of a lot of people sort of, everybody likes to see before and afters and hear what participants
success stories,
what people have said. The good news is that the truth is I would say that, you know, there could be a lot more on there. We just don't bother people. But I would say the majority of people are very, very, very happy with their experience. And so if you go to hope30.com, that's one way. You can follow Hope30 on Facebook.
There's a lot of content on there on lives that we've done in the past, and we do webinars and things like that. What you find is that a lot of the information and a lot of the parts of Hope 30, it's really how it's presented. It's not that it's a lot of new information and, you know, it's a lot of science broken down for people to learn, but it's in a way that they can actually sit and learn all the different ideas, you know, all the different weight loss programs in one, and how we put it all together. You get a little bit of a lot of different things. And so I think watching Jim's video, he kind of goes over exactly what it is, so you kind of know what to expect. And we're always available for questions and all of that, you know, social media wise. It's really, the Facebook group is probably a good place to start. Hope 30 Facebook page, and hopeessentials.com is where the supplements are. The test is at hopeessentials.com, and there's a lot of other stuff on that page as well. But yeah.
Well, what's on the horizon for you guys, since you're not doing very much?
Well,
I think there's a couple of things.
There's always something on the horizon.
I know you guys.
Certainly, when we look at things like just Hope 30 and Hope Essentials, you know, we're working on digital app pieces to it. We're working on a Hope 30 Fit, which is more the exercise side of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all kind of swirling around and being done behind the scenes right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there will be, one of the things we talk about how important sleep is. We expect to release like a sleep supplement this year, that's like a non-melatonin, not a, you know, like a not wake up groggy kind of good for you super health.
Can I ask a geek question and ask what some of the things in that sleep?
Yeah.
So there's a,
really
there's
into
a,
that.
We can put you in the test market, Tommy.
Yes.
The test
We've tested it. We've tested it with a lot of
people.
people,
you know, might have done it.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different versions of magnesium, not just one, but a couple different versions of magnesiums, L-theanine, apigenin. You know, let's see, where's some of the other things? Oh, that's a lot of it.
Yeah.
And so those are all just kind of pieces to it. So we'll probably do that.
We just actually launched something I never thought in 1,000 years we would ever launch, would be salad dressings, barbecue sauce, and stir fry sauce that are you know, this is where the Lord is driving the bus. Like, we never thought that, you know, we would ever do that. And people are like, well, what do I put on my salad? And what do I put on this? It doesn't have chemicals. It doesn't have oil, you know, and there was nothing available. I mean, we searched and searched. One company in the entire country that we could find that was really Hope 30 approved, and everybody didn't always love it. And then, how often in life is one of your friends a food scientist? So we went to him and we said, hey, do you think you can make this? But here, you can make it, but it has to taste really, really good, because it doesn't exist. And so, and
it can't have oil or sugar or artificial sweeteners or any of
anything.
This stuff. Yeah. And so, so that will probably expand this year as well with more of those.
So that was amazing, and people are loving them, and we love them. And so that's something that we never thought we'd ever do, you know, but the people asked. And the sleep, you know, that's something that we want to solve for a lot of people, because they can't heal their metabolism if they can't sleep. And so let's find out the core reason why. And so talk about deep dive. That's what Jim does. That's him all night, every night.
Jim, you and I could have a whole lot of conversation.
You don't need to go to bed earlier.
You can text me at 2 when you have a question.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I understand.
Well, this is fantastic. I feel like it's just a very tip of the iceberg, but you guys are doing some phenomenal things for people, and you're really building a substantial company. But I know your guys' your hearts are to do it for people, not to just build a company so you can sell a lot of product. You're
Yeah.
trying to do things for people, and you're making a big difference. I know that I've seen too many people, and we're supposed to love God with all our heart, soul, mind, and our strength, and so it's really good work. I just think the world of you guys.
Oh, well, we love you, Tommy. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank
We're
you,
so
Tommy.
proud of you and so honored to be on this podcast. So we just appreciate it so much. And we love our Hopesters. We love where God has put us. I
Yeah.
get emotional, but even you just reading that mission statement, I'll be honest, I haven't read it in a long time. And it's our life. And we love where he put us. And
Yes.
he put us right here, right now, and we are grateful. And I don't know what he's going to have him do next or what, but we're ready and open and waiting. And he's opening these doors, and we're just going to try to go through them. So,
Well, clearly it's him and you.
well,
Both of
we
you.
got to eat the right thing so we stay healthy.
That's right. Exactly. Because you need to be doing this for a long time. There are a lot of people
That's the plan.
need to hear this stuff. So, well, fantastic. I'll put all the different places that people can connect with you,
Awesome.
in the show notes for this. I don't know if a podcast is in you guys' future, but boy, you guys would be phenomenal.
It's been on the table, Tommy.
I'm
We'll let you
sure
know.
I can't imagine that it
You can
hasn't.
come be a guest.
Please come.
I would
Please,
love to.
please.
It would be great, because people, as much as I've listened to, it feels like certainly hundreds of hours on health. There are very few people that communicate these issues in accessible ways.
Mhm.
And you guys, I think that's something that you do really well. So,
Thank you, Tommy.
so
Okay.
great. Thanks so much for being on this. I can't wait to just hear people's response to it, and maybe we'll have a follow-up sometime soon.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank
Awesome,
you,
Tommy.
Tommy.
Thank you.
Happy New Year. Thank you.
Happy New Year. Great. Thanks.